welcome back to Being Chumba. After over a year, not over a year, probably just a few months, maybe half a year of not producing any content because life happens. Life is as it is, right? It is. Anyway, hey guys, welcome back to Being Chumbo. My name is Mary Magdalene Chumbo. If you have never known me or seen my face before, I go by MM. And together with my son, Jay, we host this show. Jay, my son, my 11-year-old son, is sleeping right now. It is 3:29 a.m. And I am recording this because this weekend is basketball tournament. He's playing in an AAU basketball team. And we're going out of town for the weekend for his basketball tournament. And that means that I really will not have time to record this. And I really just wanted to record it when it's so fresh. You got it, right? You got it. Yes. So that means I am recording this without any sleep. And I will not sleep until tonight, basically, because it's already past 3 a.m. Anyway, and we're leaving here in like 3 hours, 6. So you guys are going to join me as I get ready. Then wake him up and get him ready. But by the time I'm waking him up, I need to have my makeup done. I need to be looking fresh and good. Okay, guys, I'm so excited. I have never been excited about a TV show as this one. Literally, this TV show was released less than 24 hours ago. And I have been on it, okay, maybe less than 48 hours ago, because I'm not sure the exact time it was released, but it was released just yesterday, as in this previous day. That ended just 3 hours ago, my time. So it was released then, and so it was released on the 18th of March, and today's the 19th of March at 3 a.m. This show, y'all, this show is everything. From the trailer, I was like, I must watch this show. It's got diamond platinums. It's got Kanye. Oh my God, I love Kanye. That's a South African woman that y'all need to know about. It's got Annie and Tubaba Idibia, like that couple. I have a lot to talk about that, but we will keep talking as we keep going. This show is called Young, Famous, and African. I will start by telling y'all about who is a part of the show, who's the cast, what's the show all about, and then we can go into the juicy details of breaking it down and breaking the characters down and what we were happy to see, what I was happy to see, and what we hope to see. Okay, so join me as we do this makeup. Okay, guys, as we prime our face and get it ready for whatever, before I continue with the eyebrows, we're going to talk about the cast. So Young, Famous, and African is a Netflix reality TV show that basically is showing the lives of young, famous, and African people. It's based in Johannesburg, South Africa, if I'm not wrong. And it just has all the good characters. As in, I was not so sure about this cast when I first saw the trailer and when I started the show, because the first episode was a bit like, is this all just gonna be about sex and how many babies people have? But finally it turned into something unexpected. We've got Kanye Bao. Kanye Bao is a powerful woman. I did not know about her until I watched this show and went on Instagram and started looking at her page and started like reading more about her and just enjoying her way of talking, her way of dealing with people was just amazing in this show. Like, my God, she is the type of powerful woman that I envision myself to be. It could come off the wrong way, it could rub off on the wrong people the wrong way, but girl, Kanye, I stan a whole queen. Anyway, then we have Diamond Platnumz. If you do not know Diamond Platnumz, he is the biggest East African artist there is right now. And then we have Naked DJ, who I also did not know. Don't blame me, guys. I am not very versed into celebrity and entertainment life, so I don't know celebrity names. So we have Naked DJ, who's apparently a very big DJ in South Africa. And then we have Zari the Boss Lady, who is Diamond's ex. They have 2 kids together. I followed her for so long, so at least her I know about her. She's an entrepreneur. She's just boss lady. I mean, this time I saw a different side of her in the show, and we'll talk about that. But anyway, then there's Swanky Jerry. Oh my gosh, I love his style. I love Swanky Jerry. I love him. I love him. I love him. I love him. There is no hating Swanky. There is no hating Jerry. There is no hating any part of Swanky Jerry. That's all I'm gonna tell you guys. And then we have Andile. Calm, composed. That is how he comes off the first time you see him. Andile is, the group calls him the whole of the group, and I think he is, I agree. But hear me out. He probably attracts women to him because of how he's so composed, even in the way he dresses and the way he speaks. It's like so put together. And if he was a lady, we're just gonna have a high tea. I should have had a cup of tea while doing this, because they had a lot of teas in that show. Oh, Kanye girl. Kanye knows how to organize those teas and lunches and dinners to talk about people's issues. We need a Kanye in our life. Everybody, queens, listen, every woman, we all need a Kanye in our lives. We all need a Kanye in our lives. Then we have Nadia. Oh my God, I love Nadia's facial expressions. And Nadia is a rapper. She's a South African rapper. I have heard some of her music before. And so she comes off as, she's a friend to everybody, but she does not mess with people who mess with her friends. So she's not afraid to use her words or her fists if it comes to it, from what she has said. But it has not yet gotten to that point. And I have watched the full 7 episodes so far. And she chooses to avoid situations where she knows things would erupt into that, because I think she knows herself, which is a good quality to have, because some of us, we do not know how to hold ourselves back. And then we have Annie, baby. So if you have heard the song, "You Are My African Queen, the girl of my dreams, you take me whenever be me, you make my heart go sing-a-ling-a-ling," or ting-a-ling-a-ling. I don't know what he says there. But if you've heard that song by Baba Idibia, he used to go by the name Two-Face Idibia, then he was singing it to Annie. Annie has been his woman for over 20 years, but they've been married for 10. They have 2 daughters, and so Annie is his wife. And my God, if there is someone who has made me cry in reality TV more than anybody else has ever made me cry in anything that I have watched my entire life, it's Annie. She's just vibes. She's just vibes. Her and Jerry, when they come together, it's vibes. Then they bring Kanye to vibes upon vibes. And then Nadia comes in also. Oh, some people who showed up, even though they are not listed as the official cast, of course, we have Baba, who is Annie's husband, who shows up a number of times. Then, of course, we have DJ Naked's girlfriend, Kaylee, who I really like. She's so beautiful. That's so sweet. Oh my God. Anyway, now that we know the cast and we know that it came out yesterday and we're talking about it right now, let us go into breaking down what the show is about and what these guys are talking about, because they're all in the limelight, right? They're all celebrities. They've got these huge followings, crowds and crowds of people who love them, who adore them, who listen to their music, who watch them on shows. I think Andile is a news anchor or sports anchor, sports anchor, whatever, but he's in TV, so they're all in the limelight, they're all out there. And so imagine a group of powerful people with influence out there coming together to reveal bits about their lives on camera. I wonder what could happen. I just wonder. Anyway, join me as we continue talking about the young, famous Africans as shot in Johannesburg, South Africa. All right, now we start with the event, and big event is taking place in episode 1. It's this ball organized by Kanye, who by now you all can tell I love. So she organizes this ball, and I'm gonna tell you honestly, like, from the way it was being hyped up, I thought it was gonna be like amazing. They say paparazzi are gonna be there, girl. It was like high society ball, right? So I was expecting something. Well, at the end of the day, it wasn't that as much as we expected. There were a few cameramen outside the red carpet, ran all the way from the sidewalk or something. What is more interesting is what happened in the inside, so I don't really care. Everybody was looking good. Everybody was looking good. That I will not lie. And they, I mean, it was just a nice event in a hotel room, I will say, or in a room somewhere, which was really nice. And deco was just what you would expect in a nice place. Anyway, so, and I'm not dismissing it. I'm saying it was really nice. It wasn't what was portrayed as what could have been expected, but it was great. So after that, we have people seated at the table, and our cast is all seated at the same table. And let me tell you, the first thing is that Annie was just joining the group, right? She had never met these people, so she was invited by Jerry, who knew them, and Nadia had told him that he could come with her. And Nadia also met her the day before, so it was like, okay, we're inviting her to our circle. So Nadia had met her the day before just to get a vibe about who this woman is, blah 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 blah. And so they invited her for the ball, and so she's coming. It's her first time meeting everybody else. Everybody was at the table. The DJ was there with the girlfriend Kay, and then we had Diamond, who hoped to hit on Nadia because Diamond is Diamond, and we all know Diamond's story. If you do not know, just look up Diamond Scandals and you'll know what I'm talking about. Anyway, Zari is the only one who was not yet there because she was not yet part of the group, right? So Kanye was friends with Diamond and wanted to introduce Diamond to Nadia, and had told Diamond about Nadia, and so Diamond was looking forward to that. And then we have Ndile, who's there. He's a single man at the time. And then we have the DJ and Kaylee. I keep forgetting Naked. Yep, keep forgetting his name. And then we have Annie coming in with Jerry. Annie's joining the group for the first time, and they're all seated at this table. And then first the food is brought. Annie's a little bit picky. So Annie complained about the champagne, complained about the decor, complained about the food, complained about the steak. It was not well done. And I was like, well, I don't like my steak well done, but it's okay, girl. I hear you. If that's what you prefer, that's fine. But I mean, okay. And that was just like, okay. Especially for Nadia, who's the one who invited the woman, you know. It was like, oh my God, I invited this person and she's already throwing shade, like leaning over the table and whispering stuff about the decor and the event. So I just like took it as, okay, you know, it's the first time, dynamics, everybody's trying to set a standard, you know, in front of the others so that they can look a certain way. So fine, we're not gonna use that to judge them. But then conversation starts, and Kanye says that she's got her daughter, she's got a 15. Oh, so first of all, we're talking about children. Of course, Diamond is the first one who's asked about his kids, and he says he has 4 kids, but it might be 5 or 6. 5 or 6. And we're like, what? Diamond? 5 or 6. Then he explains it. He says, well, his mom called him a certain time and told him that this woman whom he had apparently been with could be having his kid, but she's married. And so she doesn't want to make it very public because the husband thinks it's his. I was like, what? Like, listening to this conversation, I was like, oh my God. Are we sure we want to portray Africans like this? Do we really want to express ourselves to the world like this? Let me just switch. I was like, is this what I was waiting for? When I first saw the trailer, I was running. I was constantly like, I can't wait for this day. And then this is the first thing we are seeing. Men who are vagabonding and promiscuating out there. But that wasn't what the show was all about, but that's how it started. And I was a bit like, I kept like rolling my eyes every time because it was mostly about the guys talking about women and Diamond being encouraged kinda by his friends. Although yes, there was a point where Naked said, we need to put Diamond on a leash. And I was like, I agree. Diamond needs to be put on a leash. And you, his friends, should be the ones to do it. Not us, boy. Anyway, let's go back to the ball. So he explains that, and then he explains that about 10 years or so ago, or before he became famous or something, or when he had just started getting famous, he had something with someone, right? And he hears that there's a daughter in play, but the mother has cut off relationship and is not giving him a chance to get to know the child. So everybody's like, oh, Diamond, and blah 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 blah, Diamond, oh, that's bad. And then Annie asks Kanye if she has kids, and Kanye says, oh yeah, I have a child. Liked that answer. I have a child, and she's 15. And then she goes ahead to say the way she raises her child is very different. She allows the child to experiment. If the child wants to do something, she lets the child do it so that she as a mother can learn the type of person the child is. And Annie and Ndile are like, literally let your jump back up to your face. So they're both shocked because I guess Ndile has 2 daughters, and then Annie has 2 daughters as well. So it's like, wait, what? How old is she? 15. Okay. And you raise her how? And she's like, yeah. And whenever she needs anything, like I go right next door, and they're like, what? So apparently she does not even live with her daughter. Her daughter is her next door neighbor, next door apartment. She's like, yeah, she's just right next door. I'm like, and this episode we were watching it with Jay was seated there, I turned to him. Not on my watch. You will not live alone. 15 years old? Live alone right next door? For what? Like my child does not have a bedroom in my house? How? Explain to me. Anyway, so Annie goes of course, Annie is just Annie. She says, no, hon, like you can't do that. Like you can't. And now Nadia is upset because Nadia's like, I don't bring you to a ball and then you upset the host. Like, come on, don't do it. I mean, this is not the time or place or whatever. So there's just this kind of weird vibe that the women are getting off of Annie. And so eventually Annie and Ndile go out to talk. And this is where they start talking about their personal lives. And this is where we hear about Two-Face Idibia or Two-Baba scandals and how they affected Annie as his wife and as someone who'd been with him even before the marriage, and hearing that her first child or her daughter, was it the first daughter or the second, because she has 2, anyway, the first daughter, who's I think 12, is her man's 5th child. And he had kids with these women while they were together. It's not like he started having kids with them before he knew her. No. And I was like, oh my god, this girl has gone through so much. Anyway, then Kanye walks in on them talking and comes, sits in the middle and listens, and she's like, well, now I've got armor to use against this woman. You don't show your vulnerability to strangers the first time you meet them. Like, why would you be talking about your situation like that? Like, now I know things about you that I can use against you. But at the same time, let me tell you one thing about Kanye. She did not use it against her. Anyway, so there's drama going on the first episode, but it's not that bad. It's not that big. But as we keep going on, we discover that Diamond wants to do something with Nadia, right? But Nadia's got this man whom she's dating in the US, who's a lyricist or something, a rapper. And so she tells Diamond, like, straight up, like, let's just be friends, because like he calls her to take him shopping for a car because he's gonna be in South Africa for a month. And this is episode 2 now I'm talking about. And so they go shopping and all that, and they're talking, and so Nadia decides to be like open and be like, listen, I'm open to exploring a friendship with you, but as far as a relationship goes, I don't think so, because I'm in a relationship. And Diamond is like, I don't like when the hunt is easy, so I'm gonna hunt. I like when I have the meal. I feel like I have worked for it. Oh, boy, please shut up. We need to put a leash on you. Anyway, so that's what he's saying to the camera, not to Nadia directly anyway, so whatever. After that, basically he has a party. Diamond is ratchet. Definition of ratchet equals to Diamond Platinums. Diamond Platinums. This is the episode where Zari is introduced. Diamond Platinums is hitting on this girl, goes car shopping with this girl, is trying to vibe her or whatever. Then he's having an event to celebrate his signing of whatever deal he's gotten, like I think a record deal or something. And he's invited everybody. And guess who he invites? Zari. And he does not tell this other woman that I am inviting my ex, whom I am still very much in love with, to this party. So it's all Arabic nights, and everybody's dressed up and coming in, and they're all seated down outside. There are all these belly dances out there. And then I think somebody asks, who else is coming? And then that's when he says, oh, my ex is coming, Zari's coming. And I'm like, and then you could see everybody, like, Zari shows up, and of course the room goes, not the room, the place where they were seated outside goes quiet, and it's like, eee, what will go on? And you can clearly see that Zari and Diamond have a vibe right there, which of course they say it's them, it's their attitude. They're just friends with each other. Zari brings him a gift and is exchanging the gift with him, and is like, they're talking, they're having a whole other conversation, guys, a whole other conversation on the side while everybody's at the table. And so it gets to a point where everybody's like, hey, we're here, or whatever. Like, can you see us? Can you imagine being at a party and you're all seated at one table, but your host is just concentrating talking to the ex, and you're the girl who was out shopping with him probably the day before or the same week or whatever. Anyway, so that happens. And then Zari starts throwing shade at Annie's outfit. I think that was the first time she did, but she did it a number of times in the show. So Zari throws shade at Annie's outfit. On camera, she goes like when they're being interviewed, she goes like, oh, I walk in and there's all these people, it's an Arabic themed night. Arabs dress very decently, so why am I seeing people with short dresses and their thighs are out? And I'm like, hey, I thought Annie looked good. Yes, the dress was short. And she also was like, if she knew, she had known, or she had been given the memo, she would have worn something less short, right? So she was wearing something short, and at some point I saw that it was she had covered her thighs because it was cold. She didn't know it was going to be outdoors. But I mean, that Arab dresses which are short, like it's an Arab themed night, you can't expect everybody to know the culture unless they've been around people like that. Apparently, Zari saying that was not only on camera, like during the interview, she actually also said it to her, and we later on find out that she actually says it like, why is your ass out all over the place when Annie tries to get up to go to the bathroom or something? And so that was very annoying. And then Tubaba calls Annie because he was not at the party. He's in Nigeria at this point. And he calls Annie and is talking to her. And she's like so excited. Oh my gosh, it's my husband, guys. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, my husband. Okay, talk to him, talk to him. So showing the phone around. And while she's doing that, of course, he talks to Damon. They're both musicians in the musical space, so they know each other. And then he's like, oh, Zari the boss lady. And then I think again he said, let me talk to Zari the boss lady again. I think they had met at an event years back. And so he's talking to her. He's talking to everybody. He says hi to Zari again or something. And then after they're done talking, he texts again and says, say hi to Zari the boss lady. From what we can see, right? And oh my god, this is happening. Zari takes this as her being so special or super whatever that Tubaba wanted to keep talking to her. And as a wife, of course, if your husband keeps saying say hi to somebody, you're gonna be like, oh, how do you know my husband? How do you know him? Like, she didn't know you before this night, and she didn't know her husband knew you. So she was just asking a genuine question. How do you know my husband? And Zari will just laugh it off. It's like, it's like, I'm asking you, how do you know my man? Okay, just tell me. And she also asked her man, like, if we're friends in the same circle, just answer. Zari didn't answer also the second time because they went for tea later, just the ladies, and she still asked the question, and I think she didn't get an answer from Zari. And so this got her a bit upset. That obviously offends her, so she keeps it. And this brings some tension between them because now this becomes the issue. The main issue the entire show was Annie feeling disrespected by Zari constantly. Like I told you from the beginning, Zari was already starting to make comments about her outfits, and that wasn't in just that one event. It happened a number of times, so it wasn't like something that happened once. And just in other ways, like later on in the show, we see her when Two-Face actually comes, the husband comes to the show. My husband comes to the show. You call him to the side because first of all, somebody else wants to talk to Two-Face, right, in the friends group, and then she says, no, I thought I was going to talk to him first. So the person says, okay, you go ahead. And so you take my husband to the side and you tell my husband that I'm insecure. I need you to explain to your wife. Actually, let me call her. Annie, come here. I want to make it very clear because you might think that I slept with your husband. Girl, what? Why would you do that? Like, first of all, don't call me in front of my husband trying to portray me as a very insecure person just because you know a little bit of my history, because everybody's talked about her situation with the husband and him cheating. And of course she knows that Zari knows and everything, but don't use that, girl. Like, don't come using that. Like, that's wrong. The main issue in the show is Zari causing so much friction, and at the end of the day, oh yeah, so Two-Face and Annie, this show happens around the time that they're celebrating their anniversary, 10th year anniversary of marriage, and he takes her on a romantic trip and reproposes, which is so sweet after everything he's put her through. And I'm not saying that struggle relationship is the best way to go about stuff and whatever, but if you guys have found a way to work through the stuff like they did, oh my god, it was so beautiful. And I enjoyed just watching them like reconnect. And then he reproposed. He went out of his way to surprise her tremendously over and over and over again. And I was like, wow, he really is putting in effort. And I could see him putting in effort as much as he could. Like, he's made mistakes in the past. Some of these kids are older than her own kids. So I mean, and she's stuck by him through it all. So I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but probably the marriage is not as like horrible as we want to think, just because we're seeing her cry. She's crying, but she has chosen to stay. She has a reason for that. But even if you're thinking that, you don't say it to her face, which is what Zari did a number of times, and actually calling her husband out of the group to tell him that, like, I need you to explain to your wife how we know each other, because I don't want her to be insecure. And it's like, what, girl? You don't do that. I know. No. That's not friendship. Like, to me, that's not friendship. No, even if eh. Anyway, everywhere Zari went in this show, there was drama. So she and Annie keep having this drama back and forth. And while they keep having this drama, it's affecting everybody. So everybody's trying to work it out. Everybody's calling meetings with Annie and then with her. And when she goes to the meetings, she's giving different versions of stories. And so she's trying to like say things that I'm like, wait, Zari, you're delusional at this point. Now you're adding up stuff. Like, she's deliberately using Annie's story of what has happened in her marriage to make her even feel worse, like using those emotions against her. And so eventually, I think they say they're gonna have lunch together, and then they go and have lunch together. And let me tell you, this was the shortest lunch anybody could ever have. So as they sat down, Annie was straight to the point, which is why I love my girl Annie. She goes like straight to the point. She's like, well, I did not appreciate what you did, Zari. Look, I'm gonna be straight up with you, blah 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 blah. Instantly, Zari is defensive, and they go into a fight, and she starts telling her, just because you're insecure, and she keeps using this word with her, and I'm like, why do you keep using that? You don't keep telling someone they're insecure. I don't understand how people work, especially if it's your friend. Like, don't keep doing that. So guess what my girl Annie did? She gets up and she walks out after telling her bye. And so Zari is literally left saying, you're just an insecure. Is marriage even the ultimate goal? But I'm like, you're hurt. You are hurt. We can all see that. You're very hurt. You did not expect Annie to walk out on you, first of all. Also, you did not expect her to be the one, because she thought she was coming here to tell her, are you sure you're happy about the marriage and the renewal of vows or whatever she was trying to come and do. But at the end of the day, Annie took the shine, walked out a boss, a whole boss. Though Zari likes calling herself the boss lady this time in the show, I think Annie was the boss. And so finally, Swanky Jerry, cool Swanky Jerry, tries to mediate, right? So he says, okay, he's heard both sides of the story from Annie and from Zari about everything from day one to the last day. Now he wants to meet with both of them, and he hopes that they can come for lunch, and they decide that yes, they're gonna come. Annie's coming out of respect for Jerry as her friend. Zari's coming, I think, just to say she's sorry because now she's spoken to. By then she's spoken to everybody about this situation. And so I think both women are just ready to just, put it behind them and move on. And so they get to the table. And Annie was not there yet. And so she walks in, she finds them seated. She hugs Sunky, and then she goes like, oh, hi, Zari. Then she just goes and sits. She's come in with shades, and she's just living her best life. She's just here to show up, She's not really trying to get back into all this. She's already decided. She's tired of this whole Zari situation and constantly talking about what Zari did to her. So now she's focusing on her life. And so, when a woman is done, right? She just came to show face. And so Zari is offended even more because once Annie sits down, she gets her phone out. Girl gets her phone out and she's like, I'm gonna be on my phone. I'm only here to sit and listen. Zari starts again all the explanations. I'm sorry. I might have, I don't know, maybe with the situation going on and blah, blah, blah. And Annie is just like, it's okay, Zari. It's okay. She even puts her hands across the table to hold Zari's hands. It's like, it's good. Zari, it's okay. And I'm also sorry for walking out on you and saying the things that I did. I'm sorry, okay? It's okay. Like, she just keeps repeating it. Zari keeps talking. She just keeps saying, it's okay. It's okay. At that point, I'm like, and then Zari comes out with flowers and says, so I brought you flowers. And then she's like, oh, thank you. But then they both say, I don't really believe that she was sorry. And I'm like, I don't think Zari was sorry at all. And because she was not sorry, I don't see why Annie needs to give an apology. Because that, like, you don't do that. And then talk about her relationships as if you've had, like, let's not go into Zari's history of relationships. So don't use that. Like, you're both two broken women who've been broken by men. Why are you both using your histories by men to try and tear each other down? Like, like, Zari, you don't need to be the one doing this to her. You don't need to. But Zari is delusional. She really thought that Tubaba was trying to talk to her and her alone, when Tubaba was actually talking to everybody in the circle that night. And when he came, he didn't even know that this was a thing, so he was just chilling. And then you call someone's husband and then call her in front of a husband to tell her, I need to clear the air. Your husband and I have never done anything. Like, girl, sit down. First of all, what? Why do we need to talk about this here and now? Is it necessary? Is it necessary? If it's not necessary, why are we talking about it? So that's the rundown, 411, everything about what happened on the show Young, Famous in Africa. Oh, I cannot forget the part where after this lunch where Zari and Annie make amends or whatever. Zari decides to invite everybody to a train ride outside town to a different town, go on safari, do different things, like, just let's get out of town, let's go on a train ride, let's go blow off some steam or whatever. And so, of course, my girl Nadia does not show up because she's like, I'm gonna stay away from drama because I'm sure that train ride is gonna be full of drama. And Andile cannot make it because, well, of personal family reasons, which he needed to be with his family that weekend so that they could visit the dad's grave site for remembrance. And so it was just everybody else was to come. And then Annie, I love her. She just pulled a stunt that I loved. She decided that she was not going to show up with everybody else, so she waited until this train was already on the way. Everybody's like, where's Annie? Annie's not showing up. Annie's not showing up. And boom, the train stops. And they're like, oh my god, this train has stopped. What's going on? What's going on? And who is there? My girl Annie. And everybody's like, how did you stop the train? How did you stop the train? Then she's like, money makes the world go round. Money makes the world go round. And so when she stops the train, this is where the drama is the exact moment that Zari was trying to make a speech, right? She was like, thank you all for honoring my invitation to come on my tour out of town to let off a little steam. And so she was trying to talk and like raise a toast or whatever, and then Annie interrupts. So that's the first time, and she's pretty much offended by it. And then the second time again, when she starts talking, so now Swanky Jerry is seated with Annie and Annie. So they're seated together, and so while she's saying all this, they're like, oh, it's all about you, like, you know, like making it all about you. And so we honor your invitation, okay? Now she's making it all formal, wants to give an entire speech, and they're like, we just came here to have fun. I mean, I did not see what they really said or whether they were really like being very offensive or whatever. All I know is that eventually Zari gets mad and is like, why is everybody having an attitude? I'm just trying to have a speech. And everyone is like, we're trying to have fun. We don't need a speech. And then she's like, oh, blah, 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 I'm just trying to have a speech. Y'all have an attitude. Why do you guys have such bad energy? And so she throws a tantrum, basically. She's like, I was not even able to get everything that I wanted to say out and blah, 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 blah. And what did y'all get from out of that if this is how you're treating me? Like, it's a whole drama. And then so they're like, shucks, this is gonna be 48 hours of our lives. Like this is gonna be what we're gonna deal with for 48 hours. I don't know. And they're going on safari the next morning, and of course now everybody is avoiding to be in the car with Zari in her safari car. So who ends up in the car? It's her, the DJ, Neckhead, and Kaylee, his girlfriend. And then we have Annie, Swanky Jerry, Kanye with her boyfriend in the next car. And so while they're there, Zari and the others in that car, in the first car, in the tour car or safari jeep or whatever, are having a conversation about the whole situation. And she's like, I'm gonna address it because I was trying to make a speech and nobody was giving me time to make my speech and blah 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 blah. And they were supporting her, basically, like, yeah, we didn't understand why they were doing that, like that was wrong, like we should just have let you have a speech and say your speech and blah 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 blah. And so she's already planning how she's gonna address this when she gets back, right? And so that's that. People are planning. The others are having a good time. They're not mentioning the whole situation. They're just here for a good time in the other car. They're literally, Annie was scared about lions and hyenas at night and all that. Like, you're seeing them having a generally good time in the car. And while they're doing all that, these other ones are planning how they're coming to talk to them about the situation from the previous night. So they come for dinner, and that's what Zari wants to talk about. Like, actually, it's Kaylee who asks Zari, like, are you gonna address it? And then she's like, yeah, I'm gonna do that. And so they start the conversation, and everybody's like, wait, what? Where is this coming from? We've had a really good day. Like, do we really need to spoil the moods right now with all this? This side is trying to talk, which is Zari and the ones who are with her in the jeep. And then this side is quiet. After some time, they all like just go off on them and they're like, this is messed up. We're having a good time. Y'all have decided blah blah blah. We're just gonna leave. So they leave the dining table. So that is Kanye and Annie and Swanky Jerry, and then so they leave, and Kanye's boyfriend or man, and so they leave DJ Naked, Kaylee, and Zari at the table, and basically just drama in the entire trip. 48 hours of drama, and finally they try to have another conversation that same night, later that night, where they were having a Gatsby like poker night kind of thing. And so Swanky Jerry loses his cool eventually, and he's like, it is done, it is enough. I need you guys to fix this, because if not, I'm gonna leave. You guys, this is too much, this is enough. Let us solve our issues, blah blah blah. And then these ones are acting like they don't know what he's talking about, so he gets even more mad. And it's like, oh, so you don't know what I'm talking about. You don't know. You're going to act like you don't know what I'm talking about. And it goes into a back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And finally, it just ends with the trip ending like that. We don't know what happens for the rest of the trip because everybody's just pissed off. And so we get back. And so that's the drama. So that's getting closer to the wedding night. And so Anne is like, you know what? I don't want this woman at my wedding or my bar renewals. And so that's what she says during the bridal shower, which Kanye organizes for her. She says it right in front of Zari. So it's not like she's talking about Zari behind her back. She's literally telling Zari, I don't want you at my wedding renewal ceremony, because every time you show up in a room, drama seems to follow you, you know? So I don't want you. I don't want you there. And Zari's like, well, having me at someone's wedding is a value for you, not for me. So I don't know if she thought that I was gonna cry or something, or be like, oh, whatever, but it's okay. I don't lose anything. It doesn't change me or whatever. So yeah, so she's not invited to the party. I'm sure for the next season it's gonna look like he was told by Zari not to come and he took Zari's side. Another drama was oh my god, another drama was the guys. So Diamond is sleeping around with women everywhere. We all know it. And so he leaves the show at some point because he has to travel around the world to do whatever he has to do for his music. And I mean, bring in the money, bring in the goods for the babies, and, you know, like, just be a good dad and be a provider, which is what he is. And then, but he is just also honest. He says he knows himself. He loves Zari. He misses her. Sometimes he wishes they could go back to how things were before. The only problem is he knows himself. He cannot give her the respect that she deserves. He cannot give her the love that she deserves. He cannot be for her the man that she deserves, because I'm a player, as he likes saying it. So with that said, he's hitting on Nadia. He's brought Zari to the event. It's all looking so grim and whatever. And then people are like telling Nadia, you know what, whatever, you know, you have a man either way, so it's okay. And so she's now focused on that, and he leaves the show at some point, so people don't hear much about him for most of the show until the last episode. And while he's away, Andile, our dearest Andile, the poised man, the man who dresses so decently and speaks so well, decides to go in for Zari. Builds a connection, starts holding hands, trying to always talk to her in private when they're together as a group. It's like everybody's telling him, like, bro code. Come on, there is bro code. You cannot be doing this with your friends, woman. As in, yes, fine, they say there's nothing between them, but let's be honest, there is something. There kind of is something. You cannot act like there's nothing. There is something. Like this show, the show ends actually with Diamond coming back, and he's late for the wedding, which was the renewal of the vows for Two-Face and Annie. And so he goes home straight. He goes first straight to Zari's place to see his kids, which, I mean, any good parent would do, right? And then while he's there, Zari's like, oh, okay, so daddy will put you all to bed. And she's telling him all the drama about everything that happened throughout the time he was away, and telling him that now people will think I probably told you not to go to the wedding because she was not invited. And we all watch Zari tell kids, okay, daddy's gonna put you all to bed. And so daddy takes them to bed. And they're upstairs in the room talking and choosing what bed to use for the bedtime story with daddy. And then Handile, who was bored at the wedding because Zari was not there, shows up. Handile showed up at Zari's place while Diamond was upstairs. So Zari opens the door and is like, shit, and she keeps looking around, and like, why do you keep looking around? What's going on? And then she's like, you didn't tell me you were coming. Then he hears a man's voice, so he's like, who's that? Then she's like, oh, it's Diamond. Then he's like, oh shucks, everything that everybody has been telling you, boy, the entire time, bro code, do not do this, this is your friend, this is blah blah blah. What? It flew out the window. Flew out the window. And now your friend is back, and you've come to visit, and bro, this is family, man. So when they sit down, Zari's like, this is awkward, so does anybody want a drink? Yes, we want drinks. So she's like, okay, I'll go bring drinks because I think that's a good idea. And so when she goes, she leaves them seated there, and then Diamond is like, huh, you came to see her? And then he's like, yeah, how? Like, why? And then so Andile is like, decides, okay, this is the best time to say it, so I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Well, she and I have been talking. The show literally ends at the point where Diamond getting a taste of his own medicine. Well, maybe not a taste of his own medicine, because we don't know that he's done that to anybody. Like, he sleeps around with women, but we don't know that he slept around or broken bro code. So Andile at this point might be in trouble with his friend group and with everybody else. So we have to wait and see. I enjoyed the show. At the end of the day, my top superstars for that show, I would say, again, Kanye and Annie. So Kanye, because of just how she is, like, at first she'll come off so strong and you'll think she's just a troublemaker, blah blah blah, but she just is a very decisive woman who knows what she wants. But she supports her friends, she supports her people 100%. She does not like anybody who tries to ruin stuff. And then Annie, just because she's honest, she's genuine, she's not gonna try to hide who she is or try to act different. Zari, on the other hand, very delusional, thinks the world revolves around her, and so it's all about Zari and nobody else, and blah 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 blah. Which, I mean, since she's a celebrity, she thinks that she might be justified to think like that, because that is how people have probably treated her whole life. But in reality, that's not how life is when you're back in person with your friends. That's not how you treat people. That was basically the rundown of the young, famous, and African show that we all we'll be talking about for pretty much a long time, especially if you're African and you know all these people or you follow all these people. Mission accomplished, my people. I think I look fit enough, presentable enough to show myself in the presence of people. Anyway, so it was nice catching up on this amazing show that really had my 100% attention. I loved it and I will keep watching more of it. So please let the producers know that MM is gonna keep watching Young African and Famous, Young Famous and African, whichever. They're all young, they're all famous, and they're all African. Bye bye.